'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name, on Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. Right? Yep. There we go. Okay. We're good. So, welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you from New Orleans, Louisiana. We will share the phone number in a sec. Well, we could share to join. Once I put the phone number live or put the phone number over here, it will be 562-542-3261 or 562-LibDan1. And we'll open the phone lines up in a little bit just to see if we can get them working today. If not, we'll have to figure out what's wrong to get them working in the new year. So anyway, shouts out to the people in the chats. We got Aaron over on Twitch and on YouTube. One half of the mod squad. We got the Goddess Kimchi, Fancy, John, David, TV2, Steve from across the pond, Suzanne. Let's see, who else did I miss? Well, lots of people tell me that, but Mike, what wasn't working? Jackie. Hey, everyone, glad you can join us in this holiday week that is this week of December, because we both have Christmas and Hanukkah this year. And did Kwanzaa actually start? When's the Kwanzaa dates this year? Is that a fluctuating thing or as well? Let's see. Let's pull it. I was from December 26th to January 1st. So there you go. Kwanzaa this year is this week as well. So a lot of the big ones hitting this week. So a lot of the wallets are going to be getting hit this week as well, I suppose. So yeah, once I put the, I guess we can go ahead and put the call-in up just to show that all we have to set it to do not be on Do Not Disturbed. Again, you just have to wait for me to answer and then accept. I think that's the thing. So you have to wait for me to answer and accept, and we can do it that way. I guess we'll see if it works, see how it works, etc. Apparently, I too have two voicemail messages. One from last Monday with a message from Mike, but it doesn't. Oh, whatever. We'll figure it out. Hopefully this will work this time. We'll see. If not, it is what it is. Liberal Dan have his next program. I should be on the air unless something else happens. I probably will be airing Wednesday on Christmas Day, regular time, 8 p.m. Central. Christmas Day, Hanukkah, first night of Hanukkah. Maybe I'll start my first night of Hanukkah songs. That'll be the new musical options that we'll have for the show, right? Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about just Donald Trump. Yeah, it wasn't just recently that Donald Trump started talking about Greenland. I think during the last presidency, he was talking about how we should have Greenland too. He is obsessed with Greenland. Apparently, let's see, Donald Trump appears to be entertaining an American territorial expansion that, if he's serious, would rival the Louisiana Purchase or the deal that netted Alaska from Russia. In the past week, he taunted Canadian officials, saying that we could absorb a northern neighbor and make it the 51st state. He threatened to take over the Panama Canal, the U.S.-made waterway controlled by a quarter century by its Central American namesake. And on Sunday, he resurfaced his first-term desire to obtain Greenland, a Danish territory he has long eyed. What? Maybe he thinks it's all green. It would be a great place to put. It would be a great place to put one of his resorts and have a nice big couple of golf courses over there. I don't know. He's probably that dumb that he thinks that Greenland is like super green and like not a lot of, frozen areas. Again, he vocalized his threat to take back the Panama Canal this weekend. He did so with an out for the country to avoid its wrath. Lower fees on American ships that utilize the passageway to travel between Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Otherwise, you're just going to what? Take it by force? What happened to Mr. We're going to be peaceful. We're going to be the peaceful people, and we're not going to intervene in world issues. Now, hypocrisy is a conservative prerequisite, and you should never believe anything that Donald Trump says, but he is going to spend money invading the Panama to go retake the Panama Canal, which then we're going to have to man people on the Panama Canal 24/7 to be able to make sure that we keep the Panama Canal, which means expanded military presence in Central America. Maybe that's his goal. Maybe his goal is if he says that we can take over the Panama Canal, that will enable us to look at people, whoever is crossing into the Panama Canal, and try and avoid any refugees coming our way preemptively. Of course, you could always have a boat and go around, but again, he's too stupid to understand that too. Liberal Dan should show his cats. I don't have any control as to whether or not I control my cats and when my cats come on camera. My cats come on camera whenever they damn well please, and I have no say or control in it. I even close the door, and Rose will open the door to come in. So if Rose decides to grace us with her presence, then I'll be more than happy to show off Rose and or her butt whenever she decides to grace us with her presence. But I am under no delusions of grandeur that I have any capability in beckoning my cats to come see me on command. So anyway, yeah, Ghost Cat usually pays a visit. Maybe his mama got done with her shower early and now she's snuggling with mama. That could always be what happens, because that kind of delayed. I might have to find another one. Thank you, Donald. Ugh. Like, I've got another free Windows-based application to show all your soundboards. You just have to press the money button once for the... I've saw money because I saw Cash Money on there with his smartest comments from... Yeah, that's right. So according to Cash Money, conservative talk show caller extraordinaire, they don't have to be the smartest person in the room. Trust me. Ain't nobody operating any other sort of conceptions that y'all are the smart, are under any threat or releasing any threat or showing any threat of being the most intelligent, smartest, whatever people in the room. Ugh. Especially the one who is allegedly the admitted drug-addled, drug-addicted, uh, illegitimate child of whatchamacallit, Larry Flint, supposedly. You know, whatever. Anyway, so the suggestions are strikingly similar, and they're focused on expanding United States footprint abroad. And for someone to argue during the campaign that U.S. should pull back from foreign intervention, exactly, the ideas carry modern echoes of 19th century doctrine on manifest destiny, the belief that the United States' divine right to expand across the continent. Trump on Sunday evening called ownership of Greenland an absolute necessity for the purposes of national security and freedom throughout the world. Yes, Greenland's going to cause that. It says Greenland is maybe just literally his white whale. I like my cats too. My cats might not like me as much as I like them, but cats are cats, and they'll do what they gonna do. See, his pitch to seize the Panama Canal, which he described as a vital national asset, has been decades since America controlled it, reflected in a similarly nationalist agenda Trump often describes as, quote, America's first. Speaking in Arizona, Trump reiterated his plans to designate drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, a distinction that could preface the use of military force on Mexican soil. Trump has threatened to drop bombs on fentanyl labs and spend special forces to take out cartel leaders, an incursion that would violate Mexico's sovereignty and disrupt relations with our largest trading partner. Trump's transition team declined to clarify whether these statements reflect genuine ambitions or other motivations, instead pointing CNN back to his recent comments and social media posts. Of course, you know, if Putin wants, whatchamacallit, if Putin wants Ukraine, and Trump's like, oh, well, if Putin could take Ukraine, then I'm going to take these other areas that I think are important for our own security, and there you go. Right? I mean, of course, if Putin wanted Alaska, Trump would probably be like, I think it's good that we just give Putin Alaska. He wants it back. It was originally Russian. We didn't give Russia a good deal, so therefore, we'll let him take it back as a favor from Don Don to Pootie Bear. Because, you know, maybe that's what they call each other. Don Don and Pootie Bear. Let's see. Yes, an upside down world. The world turned upside down, according to Hamilton. Several people close to and within the Trump transition team cannot pinpoint well, they say origins, but I would say if it's Trump, it's oranges. The oranges of his sudden interest in the ongoing activities of the Panama Canal, a topic he didn't raise on the campaign trail. One advisor, though, noted that Trump regularly elevates causes brought to his attention by people ranging from long-term friends to new acquaintances. If it animates him, since winning the election last month, Trump has spent most days entertaining close allies, business titans, donors, and heads of state at his Palm Beach estate. I always take him seriously, even though they may sound like a bit out there. Florida GOP Rep. Carlos Jimenez said of the Trump comments on Fox Business, it is a legitimate threat to Panama. Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino posted a lengthy statement in Spanish and English on social media, declaring ownership of the port as non-negotiable. Built at the turn of the century, the canal was operated by the U.S. till 1999, when it was fully turned over to Panama, where they partied like it was 1999, because it was, under a treaty signed by President Carter 2 decades prior that guaranteed American use of the canal in perpetuity. So we get to use it. And if there's no threats to us being able to use it, then what's the issue? I want to express precisely that every square meter of the Panama Canal and its adjacent area belongs to Panama and will continue to do so, Molina wrote. Welcome to the United States Canal, Trump posts on Truth Social, along with a picture of a U.S. flag sailing on the waterway. Molino, speaking to CNN en Espanol, contributor Andres Oppenheimer for the interview, said that will air on Sunday, scoffed at Trump's criticism that Panama is unable to ensure the canal's operations. That's a manifestation of gross ignorance of history. The canal celebrated 25 years under Panamanian hands under a Panamanian administration on December 31st. Yada, yada, yada. Trump's pitch to purchase Greenland from Denmark, which he first made in his first term, was similarly rebuffed. Said it's not for sale. Maybe here's the deal. Here's probably what is going on. Maybe you have Linda McMahon, who's going to be his Department of Education, and Linda McMahon, maybe she's channeling her knowledge or her experience with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, saying that everybody has a price. for the $1 million man, and maybe Donald Trump operates the same way. He believes that everyone has a price for the Donald. Everybody has a price for Donald Trump, your president. Steve Rocks, call me Rip Van Winkle because I'll be asleep the next 4 years. If only. Good to see you, Josh. Thank you for joining. Hey, it's Jolie. Welcome, Jolie. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you as always. They must have played some Van Halen at one of his rallies. Maybe. Just sitting there. That song's catchy. What's it about? Well, there's Panama and they have a canal. Oh, how do we get a Panama Canal? Well, there is only one and you'd have to take it. Oh, well, let's do that. Panama. When I was working at a previous job, one of my coworkers was heading down to Panama to do some business or whatever with some of the other folks because they did a lot of business in South and Central America. And every time I saw her before the trip, I would just be like, see her and be like, Panama, Panama, Anyway, hey Jeff, good to see you. Understand, you have other things to watch, so happy you can make it whenever. Trump first discussed the idea privately and publicly and confirmed in 2019. Strategically, it's interesting. We would be interested, but we will talk with them in a little bit. He says it's not the number one on the burner. I can tell you that. However, he resurfaced the idea Sunday in a news release announcing PayPal co-founder Kevin Howry as his choice to serve as ambassador to Denmark. Trump's proposal to annex Canada appears far less serious and more so a public needling of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I think it's a great idea, he wrote in a recent post. The episode stems from another Trump provocation to implement 25% tariffs on goods originating from Canada and Mexico. It is illustrative of his approach to negotiating with foreign leaders. President Trump is securing the border, his transition team wrote in a recent release, and he hasn't even taken off CSC. This is what he should do. What he should do is, if he then says, I'm going to make Mexico the 51st state or something like that, he could do that, I guess. He would push that, and once we incorporated Mexico in the United States, then he wouldn't have a problem with people coming across from Mexico to here as being, quote, illegal, as he would call them, or undocumented, because they would all be residents of the United States at that point, and therefore he would be able to lower the amount of incursions. And it'll claim victory, because that's how they claim victory. They create cheats around the whole thing. Let's see, there's a political. I wear from this from 2018. Let me check it out. Trump's name removed from Panama hotel after legal fight. A worker in Panama removed President Trump's name from a hotel there on Monday, according to a video made public from the building's owner, when he wrested control of the property from Trump's organization following a protracted legal fight. The removal of the president's name from the Trump-branded hotel followed a drawn-out fight between Trump organization and the building's majority owner. Trump retains his ownership stake in his business, but handed over daily operations to two of his sons when he took office. Washington Post reported Monday that the legal squabble seemingly came to an end when a Panamanian official ruled the majority owner, Orestes Fintiklis, could wrest administrative control of the building from the Trump organization, which had managed it, and which Fintiklis blamed the hotel's struggles to generate revenue and attract guests. After addressing reporters on Monday, he played a Greek anti-fascist anthem on a piano in the hotel's lobby, the Post reported. So that may very well be why he not now, but is revealing now that he wants to punish Panama, I guess, for embarrassing him on the national stage. Good call, DB Golding. Thank you for that. Let's see. As the stupid has begun as they pull off their government heights. Yeah. Well, I mean, the stupid began when we frickin' elected him as president again. I mean, I didn't vote for him, but he wants to be king. He wants to be a dictator on day one. All that other good stuff that he wants to do, or bad stuff that he wants to do. Hey Rob, thanks for joining the conversation. Remember to smash that like button. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share videos with your friends. I do have the more recent one that I came up with, talking about how Donald Trump and Musk and RFK Jr. are pushing the ideas of vaccines and autism, and how that's actually nothing. There's no connection between the two, and there's some what would be common sense explanations as to why we're seeing more cases, but common sense isn't common anymore, so I do not like calling it that. So will the government have anything left but bones after Doge? So that's the thing. That's a matter of, like, Doge is probably the most ineffective or not inefficient thing because it has 2 leaders. Why do you need 2 leaders? Why not just have one? But it has two. It has Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. And there are people who would say that neither of them should be anywhere near government on the conservative side because they don't like foreigners, as they would call them. They don't like them, but for some reason they'll make excuses for the, quote, good ones, right? But pretty much now, I mean, for a while, and still, I believe that Trump feels that he's beholden to Putin. But, I mean, there is something to be said that Trump will also be Musk's puppeteer or puppet. Trump will be the puppet, and Musk might be the puppeteer, and thus causing him to be de facto president, even if he can't be elected as such. Interesting. Just we'll see how much Donald Trump can handle that, because his ego ain't gonna like that. But his ego is probably more concerned with the fact of making sure that he has all the money that he can get, and however he's going to manage to funnel money whenever he awards government contracts to Tesla and more government contracts to SpaceX and helps push Elon Musk into trillionairehood. I'm sure Donald Trump is then hoping that he'll have a little taste. I'm sure he's invested in all of the things. And of course, there's the idea that what if X merges with Truth Social, thus giving Donald Trump a huge payday in the buyout. There's that too. So, congratulations on the new job, Jolie. I'm glad it went well, that you liked it. Musk rat as the shadow president only cost him $250 million. What's $250 million to a multi-billionaire who was looking to become a trillionaire because of the person he backed? If I could put up $250,000 and become a trillionaire, or $250 million even, and become a trillionaire, abso-freaking-lutely. Because that's what he bet on. He bet on that horse, and that horse won because we're stupid as a country. We elected this idiot. Again, 562-LibDan1. 562-LibDan1 is the call-in number. If you do want to try giving a call, we will get to it whenever. Let's see. Let's close that window. What else do we want to talk about before? Oh, there is some interesting news that would have been helpful to my mother-in-law. On early Saturday, Congress passed a bill that would increase Social Security benefits for public sector workers. The Social Security Fairness Act would eliminate the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, which reduced Social Security benefits for certain retirees who also receive pension income. Together, WPGPO affected 3 million Americans, including police officers, firefighters, postal workers, and public school teachers. The Senate approved the bill by a vote of 70 to 26 at 12:15 a.m. It was passed by the House in November, and it goes to the president's desk to be signed. Of course, Republicans don't like it. They think it's a giveaway to people. What, a giveaway to the people? Like, here's an example. My mother-in-law was on her teacher's pension. She didn't collect Social Security, or she didn't put into the Social Security system in and of itself, because she put money into the pension system, which is fine that she not be able to collect her own Social Security. However, she also could not collect her late husband's Social Security that he worked for when he was an employee and not a public sector type of employee. So she missed out on money because of this dumb law. And of course, she dies the year the dumb law is eliminated. Now, I understand trying to prevent, pensioners, who are making like millions of dollars on their pensions. Yeah, I understand wanting to not allow that to happen. But to say that that you're unfairly benefiting people when the people paid for their benefits. They paid for my father-in-law. I never got to meet him, but my father-in-law paid into the Social Security system and then never got any benefit paid out, the death benefit or whatever that would be paid out to his wife, his widow, once he passed away. It was BS. So it's a good thing that it went away, but it's still BS. So, did want to talk about that for a smidge. It was there, something that was affecting. I mean, it probably would have made if she would have been able to collect the monthly benefit that whatever he was eligible for, as a widow of somebody who received Social Security. It may very well have helped her. It may very well have helped us, because there would have been less to have to clean up after, as it pertains to dealing with the house, and sales and stuff like that. So. Donald Trump's transition team plans an immediate WHO withdrawal, expert says. December 23rd, members of Donald Trump's presidential transition team are laying the groundwork for the United States to withdraw from the World Health Organization on the first day of his second term, according to a health law expert familiar with the discussions. I have it on good authority that he plans to withdraw probably at day one or very early in administration, said Lawrence Gostin, professor of global health at Georgetown University and director of WHO Collaborating Center on National and Global Health Law. Financial Times was the first to report the plan, citing two experts. The second expert, former White House COVID-19 response coordinator Ashish Jha, was not immediately available for comment. Trump's transition team did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for a comment. The plan, which aligns with Trump's long-standing criticism of the UN Health Agency, would mark a dramatic shift in U.S. global health policy and further isolate Washington from international efforts to ban pandemics. Well, what else did you expect? Donald Trump failed in his response to the pandemic when it hit us, as it was hitting us. Why would you think that he would be any better this term? Because again, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So you elect Donald Trump and he mishandles one pandemic. If we get another one, he's going to mishandle that too, because Donald Trump will never learn from his mistakes, as has been seen in his legal issues, as has been seen in his public issues, as has been seen with, almost everything he damn near does. We're glad you're here too, Suzanne. Remember the Gary Larson, the boneless chicken farm, should be renamed the GQP. Nice. Borrow $1 million from a bank and hey presto, you're a millionaire, says DB Golding over there. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but I mean, what you see, this is what you do. You don't just borrow the $1 million, right? You borrow the $1 million in the name of a corporation, and the corporation then does whatever it does. You cash out of the corporation for as your salary or whatever, and then you have the corporation declare bankruptcy. That's how you become a millionaire. You can't just get out the $1 million from a bank. You have to do things that are gonna make it so that you that you are shielded from your legal liabilities and the responsibilities that you might have for taking out such a big loan, whilst being able to pay yourself a whole crap ton of money in the process. I mean, that's how Bain Capital did with KB Toys, right? They didn't even have to take out a whole bunch of money. They took out a little bit of money, and they used the assets of KB Toys as collateral for the loan that they were taking out, and then they cashed out and paid their executive. They paid off the debt, the first initial bit of money. They paid that off, and then they cashed out and sold everything that they could, gave themselves all big bonuses, and then KB Toys went in the pooper. That's how it works. So he will bail out of the Paris Accord on day one again for sure. A mere technicality. Well, that's the technicalities that Donald Trump hires people to take care of for him, because I guarantee you, he's not smart enough to figure out the con by himself. I'm sure he has other people that figures out his cons for him. Steven says, why would Trump leave the World Health Organization? Because he doesn't want anybody telling him what to do. You can't, if you're not working with the World Health Organization, they can't criticize you for whatever your failures might be. I guess they can't to your face at least. And then he'll be able to say, oh, it's so much better without them. We're so much better. We're so much safer. And we won't be, because we have RFK Jr., who wants to give people choices on all the vaccines they can take, so we can see resurgence of polio, measles, mumps, rubella, etc. in this country, which makes me almost agree with that meme that was going around where that basically said we need two things. We need a killer pandemic that's 100% lethal, but a vaccine that's 100% effective. so everybody can take the vaccine and be protected from this 100% lethal strain of the virus, or whatever. And everybody else, they find out. They enter the find out phase, because these people are more than willing to put your lives, your family's lives, the lives of people who are at risk, who can't take vaccines. They're more than happy to put you at risk for their freedom. They're not worthy or deserving of any of my thoughts as it pertains to caring whether or not they succumb to whatever. These are the same dumb people, again, who think that ventilators cause people to die. That's their line of reasoning. If you're sick, like with COVID, and you go on a ventilator and you die, according to these brain surgeons, it's the ventilator that killed you. It's not the COVID. It's not the condition that you got because you were irresponsible to other people who were irresponsible around you. It's not the vaccine. It's not the virus that you caught going to play pool in the middle of a pandemic, or going to go to concerts or Sturgis or whatever in the middle of a pandemic. It wasn't that killed him. It wasn't the virus that was attacking their immune system that was killing them. No, it's the ventilator, the thing that helps them breathe. But to these brain surgeons, they can't admit that, anything is correct, that is correct, and they won't admit that they're wrong. So if you say it's ventilators that killed these people, oh, that sounds like a good idea. That makes much more sense than the virus doing it. So trying to scroll, but I don't think I missed anything terrible. Hey, it's Impeccable Living. There you go. See, quick on the draw for that one as well. I do not yet have the sound for Steve from across the pond. I've not gotten to that yet, but I do remember that you asked, and we'll see about getting that done. Maybe for the Christmas Hanukkah show. Bet Sturgis had a lot of cases. It did, and that's why I had Liberal Dan's Chopper City. Liberal Dan's Chopper City was the first one. Was out there, was talking about how I had a fictional establishment. I had a fictional motorcycle sales establishment or whatever, and it was called Liberal Dan Chopper City, and we were going to get a whole bunch of cheap old motorcycles from the people who went to Sturgis and died, and then you would get a bottle of hand sanitizer and a 12-pack of 2-ply or something like that as well for coming and buying your chopper down at Liberal Dan Chopper City. Wee doggy. I used to have it readily available on my Blog Talk Radio thing. However, it is not currently, since I'm not using Blog Talk Radio anymore, because, they're not worth dealing with anymore. I decided that I would so all the stuff on that soundboard, if I don't have it saved down to here, is going to be, whatchamacallit. I don't even have all of them. I have 2, 4, and 5. I don't even have 1. That's hilarious. Maybe it's Sturgis? I don't know. Maybe I named it Sturgis. We'll see. Otherwise, I can just bring up the video. Nope, I could bring up the video, I guess, if I really wanted to. But oh well, not a big deal. You can look up, there's a playlist, Liberal Dan Chopper City, and you can find it under bits as well. It is available on the YouTube channel at liberaldanradio.com. And remember, Liberal Dan Radio, talk from left that's right, Mondays and Wednesdays here at 8 p.m. Central on liberaldanradio.com or twitch.tv/liberaldanradio. To call in the show, it's 562-542-3261 or 562-LIBDAN1. You can call in and we can have a chat, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And you support the show, again, you could be a patron, patreon.com/liberaldan. Patreon.liberaldan.com. Either way gets you there. You can support the show monthly. You can also support the show one time. Venmo, Liberal Dan. Buy me a cider. Go to buymeacoffee.com/liberaldanradio or go to liberaldan.com and click the Buy Me a Cider button. That's another way to do one-time contributions. You can also become a Liberal Danimal, support the show month to month here on YouTube. You can buy super chats, super stickers, etc. Gift other people's memberships as well on YouTube, on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/liberaldanradio. You can follow me over there for free. Subscription is for free if you every month. If you have to re-up it every month, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can do it that way. Otherwise, you can also buy subscriptions and gift subscriptions over there as well, including buying memberships for others. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Let's see, no show tonight, family stuff. Thanks for understanding, Hal. Totally understand. It's totally, I hope everything is good with Hal's family. Appreciate you letting us know, Andrea. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you, Andrea, as always, for all the help that you do and for getting me on Hal's show occasionally. And may very well be on Boston Brian's show on the first Wednesday show of the new year. We will see. Hopefully that will take effect, whatever. Let's see. I basically take care of sick and elderly people anymore. It's too stressful, and I don't get treated well. Well, I mean, how do you think the nurses felt too? I mean, the nurses got treated like crap during the pandemic, right? You'll never see a motorcycle in front of a shrink's office. Is that because people on motorcycles are just carefree and don't really think about that thing? Or are you thinking or you think it's more of a toxic masculinity thing where if you have a motorcycle, you can't admit that you have a problem and therefore you can't go to a shrink, right? See, I've had to get a shot today. Condoms are definitely the safe and smart thing to do, but gay people are not, quote, safe and smart. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope all is well there. Impeccable living. Say anything else about the Greenland thing that we want to talk about before we get to the main topic of the show? I'm going to go ahead and shut the phone lines down for a little bit. I'm going to put on the do not disturb and hide the number for now because we're going to go into the next topic of conversation, which is the committee report on Matt Gaetz. So let's switch on over to the alternate. Right here, in the matter of allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz, i.e., who we call Pizza Gaetz on the show because their obsession with Pizzagate and what all the conspiracy theories they had over that, when in reality they had their own little Pizza Gates going on in their back door. Well, I don't know what door he uses, but, it is what it... Oh, sorry, that's Trump's line. See, I'm not liking this soundboard either because... Oh, we can't even hear it because I have the sound down low. Let's try it one more time.
It is what it is.
There you go. Now it played right. You didn't hear it play wrong the first two times and cut off the beginning of it. Maybe I need to have longer clips, like insert space between and after so I can play it and then there's dead air for a second before it gets to it is what it is. Impeccable. Would you rather have a pension or a penisin? I think you'd rather have a little both, right?
Oh my!
Well, there you go. As I said, as I said it, he said it 2 seconds later. I'm greedy and want both. So there you go. In the matter of allegations relating to Representative Matt Pizza Gaetz, adding pizza for my amusement, released December 23rd, 2024. So we got it a bit early. Mr. Guest from the Committee on Ethics submitted the following report with dissenting views. Ooh, there's dissenting views. I'm sure it's some Republicans or whatever in the group that are like, we love Matt Gaetz. We can't give this bad information about him. So we don't need to. I'm not going to give credits to the report staff. Letter of transmittal. Blah blah blah. Introduction. So we're gonna zip through this as whatever. Report with dissenting views. In accordance with House Rule 11, clauses 3A2 and 3B, the Committee on Ethics hereby submits the following report to the House of Representatives, including the views of Chairman Guest on behalf of the dissenting committee members. Introduction. On April 9th, 2021, the committee announced it was investigating a series of widely reported allegations relating to Representative Matt Pizza Gaetz. At the request of the Department of Justice, let me just scoot this over a smidge because I'm covering the text. The committee deferred its review during the 117th Congress. After it was organized for the 118th Congress, the committee reauthorized its investigation into the allegations revolving Representative Gaetz. Specifically, the committee undertook a review of allegations that Representative Gaetz may have engaged in sexual misconduct and or illicit drug use, shared inappropriate image or videos on the House floor, misused state identification records, converted campaign funds for personal use, and or accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, or impermissible gift. In June 2024, following extensive fact-finding, the committee determined to continue its review of the allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and acceptance of impermissible gifts, and expanded its review to include allegations that Representative Gaetz may have dispensed special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship and obstructed government investigations into his conduct. At that time, the committee determined to take no further actions on the allegations relating to the House floor, state identification records, personal use of campaign funds, and his acceptance of a bribe or gratuity, allegedly. See, on November 14th, 2024, Representative Gaetz resigned from the House after President-elect announced his intention to nominate him for AG. As a result, Representative Gaetz's resignation, the committee lost jurisdiction to continue its investigation. Representative Gaetz subsequently withdrew from consideration from his position as Attorney General. At the time, he has not announced any intent to seek higher office or return to Congress. The committee has typically not released its findings after losing jurisdiction in a matter. However, there are a few prior instances where the committee has determined that it was in the public interest to release its findings even after a member's resignation from Congress. The committee does not do so lightly. In this instance, several committee members objected. A majority of the members of the committee agreed that the committee's findings should be released to the public. And so there was enough Republicans there who were sick of Matt Gaetz's BS as well. Anyway, committee found substantial evidence of the following. From at least 2017 to 2020, Representative Gaetz regularly paid women for engaging in sexual activity with him. In 2017, Representative Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with a 17-year-old. Again, not just that this is an allegation, they are saying that there is substantial evidence of the following, which I guess still is an allegation, but it's not a simple mere allegation. They believe there's substantial evidence to show these things. During the period from 2017 to 2019, Representative Gaetz used or possessed illegal drugs, including cocaine and ecstasy, on multiple occasions. Representative Gaetz accepted gifts, including transportation and lodging in connection with a 2018 trip to the Bahamas, in excess of permissible amounts. In 2018, Representative Gaetz arranged for his chief of staff to assist a woman with whom he engaged in sexual activity in obtaining a passport, falsely indicating to the U.S. Department of State that she was a constituent. Representative Gaetz knowingly and willfully sought to impede and obstruct the committee's investigation of his conduct. Representative Gaetz has acted in a manner that reflects discreditably upon the House. Based on the above, the committee concluded that there was substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules, state and federal laws, and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit use, drug use, acceptance of impermissible gifts, and the provision of special favors and privileges and obstruction of Congress. The committee did not find sufficient evidence to conclude that Representative Gaetz violated the federal sex trafficking statute, although Representative Gaetz did cause the transportation of women across state lines for purposes of commercial sex. The committee, and look, that's not an allegation. That's a statement of fact from the committee. The committee did not find evidence that any of those women were under 18 at the time of travel, nor did the committee find sufficient evidence to conclude that the commercial sex acts were induced by force, fraud, or coercion. So, and just because there wasn't the evidence there, doesn't mean it didn't exist, it just didn't have it. Representative Gaetz was uncooperative throughout the committee's review. He provided minimal documentation in response to the committee requests. He also did not agree to a voluntary interview. On July 11th, 2024, the committee issued a subpoena to Representative Gaetz for his testimony. He did not appear, despite having received notice of the date and time. The committee then sent Gaetz a set of written questions, to which he issued a public response that ignored most of the direct questions about his misconduct and mischaracterized the committee's investigation and his participation up to this point. Despite his claims to the contrary, the committee's singular mission is to protect the integrity of the House. When faced with serious public allegations, the committee will often investigate, and when such allegations are false, the committee has shared a goal with the respondent to disprove all of those allegations. While the committee considered whether to establish an investigative subcommittee to consider sanctions against Representative Gaetz, the committee ultimately determined that it would not risk the further victimization of the women involved in this matter. Most of the women with whom the committee spoke also gave statements to DOJ and urged the committee to rely on these statements in lieu of requiring them to relive their experience. They were particularly concerned with providing additional testimony about a sitting congressman in light of DOJ's lack of action on prior testimony.
DOJ refused to provide the relevant statements and other significant evidence to the committee. DOJ cited internal policies about protecting uncharged subjects like Gaetz, general concerns about how DOJ's cooperation with the committee may deter other victims in other matters, and various opposite policies relating to congressional oversight of DOJ itself, DOJ internal deferral requests, and blah, 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 blah. Committee determined that the findings must be released without further impediments. Accordingly, on December 10th, the committee voted on whether to release the report, although several members did not support its release. A majority of members voted in favor of its release. So yeah, I don't understand how you guys haven't caught on that not having universal health care traps you into employment where your employer holds health care over your head is blackmail. I mean, I've figured it out. I mean, a lot of people have figured it out, but unfortunately you have a big swath of the country who voted for Donald Trump who likely doesn't know that and are unwilling to admit it or learn it. See, Suzanne, my blood pressure is very high. I didn't have high blood pressure before I moved back to my parents' house. That could do it. I doubt if one Republican will give a crap about this in public. Hope I'm wrong, like on my wedding day. No one cares about me anymore and letting my parents do anything they want. My mom's told, I'm sorry, Suzanne, that sounds bad. Can we make Gaetz and Eric Trump do some live action Beavis and Butthead episodes? Well, that would be cool. If Gaetz couldn't verify the drugs he gave to them was free from fentanyl, could he be charged with involuntary manslaughter? Well, maybe attempted. I mean, they would have had to have died for it to be involuntary manslaughter overall. Let's see. Procedural history. On April 9th, 2021, the committee publicly announced it was investigating those allegations. Yada, yada, yada. In February 2023, after the committee asked DOJ for an update on its deferral request, public records indicated that DOJ had informed Representative Gaetz and multiple witnesses that the congressman would not be charged in connection with the investigation. Shortly thereafter, DOJ informed the committee was no longer requesting a deferral, blah, blah, blah. On June 18th, 2024, the committee announced the scope of the inquiry would focus on the allegations of sexual misconduct, drug use, acceptance of improper gifts, dispensation of special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship, and obstruction of government investigations. At the time, the committee also stated it would not continue to investigate allegations of sharing inappropriate images or videos on House floor, misuse. Why? But I don't understand that you had people who admitted that openly that he did. So why not go after him about that? That doesn't make sense. Chairman and ranking member sent 9 requests for information and 6 freedom of information requests. The committee also authorized 29 subpoenas for documents and testimony, reviewed nearly 14,000 documents, and contacted more than 24 witnesses. The committee also received sworn written responses from an associate of Representative Gaetz, Joel Greenberg, as discussed further below. However, the committee determined that due to credibility issues, it would not rely exclusively on information provided by Mr. Greenberg in any findings. Shortly after DOJ withdrew, the committee reauthorized its review. The committee sent DOJ requests for information, yada, 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 wouldn't give information, yada, yada, yada. Let's skip on through this. Oh, my birthday. On May 20th, 2024, the committee requested Representative Gaetz inform the committee whether he would agree to participate in a volunteer interview, and provided him a list of allegations that he could make any response, provide information. May 24th, he provided brief written denials on the allegations and demanded the committee address leaks prior to me providing any oral testimony to the committee, or him, whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Relevant laws, rules, and other applicable standards. I don't think we have to go under relevant laws. Florida state laws. Well, there you go. Under Florida statutory rape law, it is a felony for a person 24 years of age or older to engage in sexual activity with a 16 or 17-year-old. A person charged with this offense may not claim ignorance or misrepresentation of the minor's age as a defense. It is also a criminal offense under Florida state law to solicit, induce, entice, procure another to commit prostitution, or to purchase the services of any person engaged in prostitution, or to aid, abet, participate in such actions. Florida defines prostitution as the giving or receiving of the body for sexual activity for hire, but excludes sexual activity between spouses. So your spouse can be your own prostitute, but you can't have one outside of a wedlock. I guess that's why Donald Trump is able to continue to be married in Florida to his current wife. In Florida, unauthorized possession of controlled substances is also a criminal offense. Yada yada. House rules and other conduct. Lots of house rule stuff. Gift received through personal friendship with a fair market value is more than $250 requires formal approval from the committee. With respect to a trip, the value is viewed as a whole and thus includes transportation, lodging, and meal expenses paid by the gift giver. Certain considerations must be made in determining whether to accept a gift over $250 related to personal friendship, such as the history of the friendship, including previous exchanges of gifts. Notice this doesn't apply to Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court. Whether the gift giver had personally paid for the gift or sought a tax deduction, yada yada. Whether the gift giver gave similar gifts to other members, officers, employees of the House. In addition, members are required to report the receipt of certain gifts from non-relatives where the aggregate amount exceeds the minimum value. Minimum value in 2024 is $480, excluding any gifts valued under $192. In 2018, it was $390, excluding any gifts valued under $156. So if I gave somebody a gift of $155 and I gave them 100 of them, it wouldn't count. That doesn't make sense. There's also an exemption for gifts of personal hospitality, for there's no value limit of reporting. A hospitality exemption, however, is limited. It applies only to stays and meals in someone's personally owned home, does not include air travel to get to that location, or stays in a property that is rented out to others, yada, yada, yada. Factual background. Let's see, poo. See, is Greenberg still in jail? I don't know if Greenberg is still in jail. On March 30th, 2021, New York Times reported that Representative Gaetz was under investigation by the DOJ for possible violations of sex trafficking laws. Investigation reportedly related to allegations that he had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old and paid her to travel with him. On April 1st, 2021, additional reporting indicated the federal investigation included allegations involving cash payments, use of illegal substances, the recruitment of women online for sex, and the use of campaign funds to pay for travel for these women. DOJ investigation was part of the ongoing inquiry involving a former county tax collector in Florida named Joel Greenberg, who was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022. So I'm guessing, unless something happened, he's probably still in prison. See, his Gaetz arrangement with Joel Greenberg. The committee records show that shortly after he was sworn into Congress in 2017, Gaetz became friends with Mr. Greenberg, who had also recently taken office as the Seminole County tax collector. According to Greenberg, the two met at the house of Christopher Dorworth, a Florida lobbyist. Greenberg and Representative Gaetz frequently attended parties and other gatherings with young women in attendance. Many of these women were initially contacted by Mr. Greenberg via the website seekingarrangement.com, now seeking.com. So this is not an ad for them, so we're not making any money from that. Mr. Greenberg subsequently introduced the women to Representative Gaetz. SeekingArrangement.com advertised itself as a sugar dating website that primarily connected older men and younger women seeking mutually beneficial friendships. The website was generally understood by many of the women interviewed by the committee to involve at minimum an exchange for companionship for money. There have been prosecutions against individuals for sex trafficking that originated with contacts made through this website or similar websites, and some have called for the website to be shut down due to its facilitation of prostitution. Again, Liberal Dan Radio here. We are sex positive. We support sex work as work. We don't support going after prostitutes for simply selling their body, because all work is selling your body. Platforms such as SeekingArrangement.com are known to make it easier for traffickers to exploit victims and connect with buyers, according to Note 38. See GAO report to congressional committees on sex trafficking, yada, yada, yada. The committee did not receive any evidence that Gaetz had his own account on SeekingArrangement.com. Mr. Greenberg indicated he frequently showed the site to Gaetz and that he provided his login credentials to Representative Gaetz. According to Mr. Greenberg, he and Representative Gaetz would split the costs of drugs, hotels, and girls. For example, the committee reviewed evidence that such activity occurred in July 2017. Specifically, evidence showed that Representative Gaetz, Mr. Greenberg, and others gathered at a rental property located in the Brickell community of Miami, Florida, for a weekend beginning July 7th, on my anniversary, look at that, 2017. Representative Gaetz and Mr. Greenberg also spent time in Fort Lauderdale during the Miami stay, during which time Gaetz withdrew at least $1,200 in cash from 3 different accounts on a single ATM. On June 22nd, Representative Gaetz paid $6,308 for that rental booking. July 9th, Mr. Greenberg paid Representative Gaetz $1,600 by check. Mr. Greenberg stated that the check was reimbursement for a share of the rental. Mr. Greenberg also noted that they met up with another individual for dinner that weekend, shared a photo of Representative Gaetz, himself, and the other individual on social media on July 8th, 2017. The committee received evidence confirming Gaetz at times personally made payments to women who attended parties with him and Mr. Greenberg using various peer-to-peer electronic payment services as well as checks and cash. Why would you do it in checks? Why are you a freaking idiot? Didn't you learn it all from Jerry Springer? Jeez. Witnesses indicated that there were times where a lump sum would be sent to the one woman who would then distribute the money evenly among others who attended the parties. Likewise, in one instance, Gaetz sent $400 to Mr. Greenberg with the note "Hit up Victim A." Mr. Greenberg then sent two women payments totaling $400, including Victim A. On August 19, 2020, Mr. Greenberg was indicted on charges related to his misuse of motor vehicle records and identification documents in his role as Seminole County tax collector and his attempt to falsely accuse a political opponent of being a pedophile. Every conservative accusation is a confession, right? He was additionally charged with sex trafficking of a child, Victim A, wire fraud, bribery of a public official, theft of government property, and related charges. He pled guilty to the 6 charges, including sex trafficking, in May 2021. His sentencing was delayed till December 2022 because of cooperation in several other matters. As part of his cooperation, he provided information that was ultimately corroborated and ended in successful prosecutions. Representative Gaetz' interactions with women he met through Mr. Greenberg. Transactional nature of the interactions from 2017 to 2020, Gaetz made tens of thousands of dollars in payments to women that the committee determined were likely in connection with sexual activity and/or drug use. Payments were made to these women using peer-to-peer platforms such as PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. While Representative Gaetz had accounts in his name on each of those platforms, he also sometimes paid women through another person's PayPal account or all through an account held through a pseudonymous email account. Gaetz also paid some of the women by check, idiot, or cash. Of course, I think someone said on one of the previous shows that Gaetz used Nestor's Venmo account sometimes to send money, I guess, along the way. Following chart summarizes payments made by Gaetz to Mr. Greenberg and to women via peer-to-peer payment platforms or checks. Woman 1, $63,836.58. Former girlfriend, 2017 to 2020. Woman 2, for almost $4,200 over the course of 2 years. Woman 3, $2,650. Woman 4, $6,200. Women 5, just over $4,000. Women 6, $5,200. Woman 7, $200. Woman 8, $600. Woman 9, $1,280. $400. $500. $2,135.48, and then Joel Greenberg also got $39.50. Committee records indicates that Gaetz was in a long-term relationship with Woman 1, and therefore some of the payments might have been a legitimate nature. However, as discussed below, Woman 1 asserted her Fifth Amendment rights when asked whether the payments from Gaetz were for sexual activity and/or drugs for her to pass on to others for such purposes. Based on that assertion, combined with evidence received from other sources, the committee found substantial reason to believe that most of these payments were for such activities. The committee was not able to speak with every woman who received payments. Several women initially were responsive to the committee's outreach, but later told the committee they would not voluntarily participate. Other women were clear at first contact that they feared retaliation or were unwilling to voluntarily relive their interactions with Representative Gaetz. I mean, do you blame them? Would you really want to be remembering that sort of stuff? Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Due to the women's reluctance to cooperate, as well as the delay caused by DOJ's deferral request and subsequent refusal to provide meaningful cooperation, the committee was unable to determine the full extent to which Gaetz' payments to women were compensation for engaging in sexual activity with him. However, the record before the committee provides substantial reason to believe that many of the payments in the chart above were made in connection with sexual activity and/or illicit drug use. The committee was also able to quantify the amount of cash payments Representative Gaetz made to women, or was not able to quantify the number of cash payments. I guess you have the check, right? Dumbass. Why would you pay with a check? Why would you pay with a check? Dumbass. Representative Gaetz refused to answer questions about his relationship with the women involved. There was evidence that he understood and shared many of the women's transactional views of their arrangements. In one text exchange viewed by the committee, Representative Gaetz balked at a woman's request that he send her money after he accused her of ditching him on a night where she was feeling tired, claiming she only gave him a drive-by. The woman asserted to Gaetz that she was being treated differently than other women he was paying for sex. The committee also obtained text messages in which Representative Gaetz' then-girlfriend informed some of the women who were typically paid for sex that the guys, i.e. Representative Gaetz and Mr. Greenberg, wanted me to share that they are a little limited in their cash flow this weekend, but it can be more of a customer appreciation week. Wow, what cheapos. A few months later, she noted that, by the way, Matt also mentioned he is going to be a bit generous because of the customer appreciation thing last time. Another woman specifically recalled a conversation with Gaetz about issues with Mr. Greenberg following through with expected payments after Greenberg's encounters with her. Mr. Greenberg told the committee that Gaetz was aware that these women had sex with and paid with and had met Mr. Greenberg through the sugar dating website. Gaetz does not appear to have negotiated specific payment amounts prior to engaging in sexual activity. Instead, the women had a general expectation that he would typically receive some amount of money after each encounter. 2017, using a pseudonym account, Gaetz made payments to women largely without description of the purpose of the payments. After several months, he began to use other payment accounts, including ones with his own name, using innocuous descriptions to indicate the purpose of the payments. Gaetz did not provide any information regarding the tens of thousands of dollars in payments he made to other dozen women, despite being offered the opportunity to do so by the committee. Yada, yada, yada. Many of the women interviewed by the committee were clear that there was a general expectation of sex. One woman who was paid more than $5,000 by Representative Gaetz between 2018 and 2019 told the committee that 99% of the time that Representative Gaetz and I were hanging out, there was sex involved. Text messages obtained by the committee showed that Gaetz would also ask women to bring drugs to their rendezvous, in some instances requesting marijuana cartridges and repaying the women directly, but in other cases requesting a full complement of party favors, vitamins, or rolls. Representative Gaetz sent one woman several hundreds of dollars for marijuana cartridges. One woman stated that with respect to 2018 Bahamas trip, myself and Representative Gaetz' then-girlfriend brought drugs with us, and I did not know that Matt supplied his then-girlfriend with money. Another woman said she brought cocaine to at least one event with Gaetz and witnessed him taking cocaine or ecstasy on at least 5 occasions. Nice. Let's see. Let's kind of scroll back. So my family is dysfunctional, transactional. My parents are becoming different. Just see, maybe not lifestyle. Used to drink too much and now smoke too much. I'm going to see 75 Vicky kills me. We hope so. P-dubs, I'd really like to know how the people who were chosen to be these powerful positions aren't better vetted, because they don't care about their own. They'll criticize about other people's stuff, but they don't care about their own at all. But hey, P-dubs, good to see you. But yeah, they don't give a crap. You know, anything bad can come out against these. As long as you're a Republican politician that supports Donald Trump, the people are not going to give a crap. And the Republicans who might give a crap are going to not step out of line too much because they fear retribution from Herr Donald. Let's see. Selected interactions. Based on evidentiary record, committee identified at least 20 occasions where there was substantial evidence that Gaetz met with women who were paid for sex and or drugs. Committee also received testimony related to multiple additional trips, parties where the representatives may have paid women for sex and drugs, although the committee could not determine the specific dates or locations for all of them. To the extent Representative Gaetz paid money to women in connection with those trips, at least some transactions are reflected in the chart discussed in the prior section. One of the women at Greenberg met on seekingarrangement.com and introduced to Representative Gaetz in or around March 2017, became Representative Gaetz' girlfriend when he was almost 35 and she was 21. The relationship continued for 2 years. The relationship was not exclusive, and the committee received evidence that Representative Gaetz' then-girlfriend sometimes participated with him in sexual encounters with other women who were active on the website and otherwise involved in sex-for-money arrangements. The committee also obtained text messages where she appeared to act as an intermediary between Gaetz and the women he paid for sex. She herself was paid tens of thousands by Representative Gaetz over the course of their 2-year relationship. However, she invoked her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination in response to several questions, including what the purpose of the specific payments was. Purpose of the payments were? Or purpose was? I don't know. Seems weird either way. The committee obtained messages between Mr. Greenberg and a 20-year-old woman he met through seekingarrangement.com who noted, "I usually do $400 per meet. As shown in the following exchange, Mr. Greenberg and the woman made plans to bring a friend to their meet. The committee found the language used by the woman and amount proposed were consistent with typical pay-per-meet arrangements made by users of seekingarrangement.com at that time." Messages between Joel Greenberg and 20-year-old female. "If you have a friend that is down, perhaps all 4 of us can meet up later. Do you party at all? Oh, that's perfect. I have a friend who introduced me to the website that I could bring. She's very pretty, great personality. I usually do $400 per meet. Does your friend use the website as well? And yes, I do like to go out sometimes." Let's see, very cool. He understands the deal. What does your friend look like? 400 is not a problem. Are both of you old enough to drink? So what do you have in mind for tonight? My friend. Oh, my friend thinks he's really cute. Well, that clearly shows that she has bad taste. I mean, how can you trust anybody who thinks that's cute, right? He's down here for the day. We work hard and we play hard. Have you ever tried Molly? Well, Your Honor, when I said Molly, I meant the girl, not the drug, right? Evidence reviewed by the committee showed on several occasions Gaetz met with these women who corresponded with Mr. Greenberg in these messages. He continues to follow her on social media and has paid her more than $2,000 since late 2018. The committee received evidence indicating that the 20-year-old woman in the above messages joined Mr. Greenberg and Representative Gaetz at a hotel in Florida less than 2 weeks after her initial encounter with Representative Gaetz. Committee record indicates that Gaetz also invited another woman who he's regularly paid for sex to meet with him at the hotel without disclosing to her that others would be present. The other woman, who is 21 years old, had recently asked the congressman for help with her tuition. She recalled that Gaetz had agreed and told her to meet him at the hotel room where he would provide her with a check, which according to the woman was interesting because he normally sent Venmo payments. Well, I guess I was just helping her with college, Your Honor. When she arrived to pick up the check, she found Mr. Greenberg and the 20-year-old woman present. The 21-year-old woman told the committee there was an expectation of a sexual encounter. The four of them had sex, and afterwards, Representative Gaetz gave her a $750 check made out to cash with tuition reimbursement in the memo line, which she deposited the next day to help pay her tuition. 21-year-old woman told the committee she believed the encounter could potentially be a form of coercion because I really needed the money. Representative, nah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that line. I mean, yes, you can be coercive, and yes, I'm sure if you could argue coercion probably in other ways, like he used his power or his influence to do that, not just because I needed the money. I mean, every transaction where you work for pay would be coercive at that point because we need money. Of course, there's probably some very more leftist people than me, but it's like, you're getting the point. It's all coercive. Thank you. You've actually said this. Steve, cute. You had me at 400. Exactly. Let's see. Took her on a plane to Key West, May 19th to 21st. All these stuff happening like around my birthdays and anniversaries. What the hell? He likes to enjoy himself during my happy days. He needs to stop. See, with 2 guys and 4 girls, very high quality adventurous group. She initially responded, "Yeah, I'm in." To which Representative Gaetz said, "Fantastic," as is true with all the time you spend with me. It will be very fun and very chill. The same woman was photographed with Representative Gaetz on May 19th, 2017 in Orlando. The photograph depicts Representative Gaetz in a casual shirt with his arm around her in a dimly lit bar. She was also photographed in front of the helicopter with 3 women associated with Representative Gaetz around the time, including his then girlfriend. After the committee obtained copies of the text messages and selfie photo, there was public reporting about the evidence. In response to the reporting, Gaetz' spokesperson released a statement asserting that Gaetz does not know anything about the women you're referencing, though he takes thousands of selfies each year. Payment records reviewed by the committee, however, show that Gaetz paid $600 to the woman the same day he was photographed with her. So yeah, not very believable. Yet they didn't go after him. Dumbasses. In February 2018, Mr. Greenberg introduced Gaetz to 2 women with accounts on seekingarrangement.com. They were generally older than the women that Mr. Greenberg had previously introduced to Mr. Gaetz. They had a slightly different relationship with the 2 men. They were the only women paid by Representative Gaetz who denied the committee that the payments they received for the congressman were compensation for engaging in sexual activity. One of the women, who was 25 years old when she met him, testified she understood herself to be more sophisticated than some other women on seekingarrangement.com, in contrast to the women who almost exclusively interacted with Gaetz. This woman attended events as his date, for which she was paid between $5,000 and $1,000 per event. She also stated that she did not feel pressured to have sex with Representative Gaetz and only did so on some occasions. Well, I mean, if she wants to have him be a continued customer of hers, what's she gonna do, right? She told the committee that in December 2019, Gaetz had his congressional assistant arrange travel for her to Washington, D.C. for one night. According to the woman, she attended a dinner with Gaetz and a few other individuals. She stayed overnight at the hotel with Representative Gaetz, and of course, they had sex. Representative Gaetz sent the woman $1,000 around the time. The woman told the committee that she was paid to be his date and that sex was not necessarily an expectation. Sure. Do you believe that he would have gone back out with you if you didn't have sex with him, at least occasionally on these dates? Ask that question. And if the answer is anything but no, I didn't think that, that's a lie. The other older woman, who was 27 years older, the other older woman was 27. That's just how weird this story is. When she met Gaetz was the only interviewed by the committee who did not view the relationship as transactional. The first time she met Gaetz, however, she had sex with him and was paid $1,000 by Mr. Greenberg, which she understood to have been at Representative Gaetz' direction. She told the committee that she viewed her relationship with Gaetz as more or less dating, although it was never anything serious. She said she was not familiar with his then girlfriend and said she was not aware that he was also having a sexual relationship with her friend, the 25-year-old woman she frequently commented on the social media, and he still follows her on social media. Genius. Most of the sex for money encounters the committee reviewed occurred in Florida, particularly around Orlando. Oh boy, it's the happiest place on earth, unless you're being forced to have sex with Matt Gaetz. Sorry. Oh, Gorsh. He sure is a goofy one. He makes me look bright. September 13th, 2018, Representative Gaetz, 2 other men, 6 women traveled to Bahamas. Representative Gaetz arrived by commercial plane later than the others, who arrived on private planes. The group stayed at a vacation rental booked and paid for by one of the male travelers. The attendees stated that this group social trip, they sunbathed, chartered a boat, went to dinners to a casino as a group. Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with at least 4 of the women on the trip. Several of the women recalled that Representative Gaetz appeared to be under the influence of drugs and that he took ecstasy during the trip. One woman said she witnessed Gaetz taking ecstasy as well. Most, if not all, of the women had involved some history of sexual interactions with him for which they had been paid, while no specific payments to the women in connection with the Bahamas trip. According to one woman, the trip itself more so was the payment. The group returned to Orlando on September 16, 2018. Representative Gaetz flew on a private plane with another man and 3 women. The remaining individuals flew on another private plane. He paid 2 women to travel to New York City in January 2019 to meet up with him and his then girlfriend, stating who can help with party favors. In addition to paying for travel costs, the committee reviewed evidence that Gaetz sent the women money to compensate them for sexual activities they engaged in with him during the trip. While all the women in the committee interviewed said their sexual activity with Representative Gaetz was consensual, at least one woman felt the use of drugs at the parties may have impaired their ability to really know what was going on or fully consent. Of course, you know, how else would one be convinced to have sexual relations with Matt Gaetz if you're not being paid? Because, holy crap, could not pay me enough. Oh, wait, why did people knock on someone trying to get their freak on? It happened with Hunter, now this slap nuts. It's not that we care specifically about him, you know, getting his freak on. I'm more than again, as I said earlier in the show, sex work is real work, and we should not, I do not begrudge people for participating in sex work. What I do begrudge, however, are the people who try and make these moral things a big deal. Like, he runs on morals and family values and traditional values and yada, 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 yet participates in activity that he supposedly doesn't like or doesn't agree in, doesn't believe in, etc. It's the hypocrisy that's the problem. It's not if he wanted to not make, you know, religious morality a part of his campaigns, if he wanted to not be that big of a hypocrite when it came to all, you know, trying to, you know, supporting policies that would harm LGBTQA folks, that would harm trans folks, everything like that, if he would stay away from that, I would be like, none of this is any of our business. I don't give a crap. But that's not what they do. They go above and beyond. They try and make activities illegal for everybody else that they themselves want to participate in. But yes, Hunter Biden was also a private citizen. Therefore, the only reason that Hunter Biden was getting any sort of traction is simply because he was Joe Biden's son. That's why they went after Hunter Biden. Period. End of story. Because nobody else would have had to deal with the punishments that they want to give to him when it comes to, you know, the tax form lie and the gun lie or whatever. Like, people who pay back their taxes with interest typically aren't punished further for that, and people aren't typically punished for lying on the application to get the gun if nothing else happens. So Gaetz is married now, still chatting with her. It says he still follows them on social media, but, you know, just like, you know, Don Jr. has his, you know, Kimberly Guilfoyle, but then there's the new one. I'm sure that he's replacing because they're sending Kimberly off to be the ambassador to Greece. So, I mean, they do like to juggle multiple people, right? That's par for the course. The hypocrisy is mind-numbingly painful. But yeah, but if Gaetz's current partner, woman, girlfriend, whatever, wife, whatever she is, was under any other reasons to believe that he was going to be faithful to her, I mean, that's just silly. P-Dub's pretty good Mickey Mouse imitation. Oh boy, thank you so much. Let's see. I've never had a date direct someone to give me $1,000 after the date. Me neither, P-Dubs. Maybe that's our problem. Maybe we need to start doing that. It's so true. Hiding behind religion irks me. Yes, exactly. They will feign religion. They will talk about family values and morals and blah 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 blah, and then do this bullshit because they're the ones admitting that they need government to help keep them from doing all of the bad things or the things that they think are bad because they can't control themselves. That's why they need government to do it. But they're still going to continue doing it because then they'll just show why government doesn't work and then use themselves as examples as to why government doesn't work. Well, exactly, Jen. It was pure political BS. And there was what he pled guilty to and the deal that he was going to get was, I think, even a worse punishment than most people get for both of those crimes combined. But because he's Biden's son, they were not going to let him, I guess, skate that easy. So that's why Biden had to change his heart and do the pardon. Jeff Curry, the ghost of Christmas past will hunt you one of these days. One of these, how many ghosts were in that movie? That's the question that goes around. Or in the movies, I guess, because there are multiple movies with the same story. Let's continue on scrolling. Gaetz' interactions with a minor he met through Mr. Greenberg. Numerous witnesses told the committee that on July 15th, 2017, Representative Gaetz attended a party at Mr. Dorworth's home. The party was also attended by Mr. Greenberg, Representative Gaetz' then-girlfriend, and several others, including Victim A, who was 17 years old at the time. The record overwhelmingly suggests that Representative Gaetz had sex with multiple women at the party, including the then 17-year-old, for which they were paid. Mr. Dorworth testified that Gaetz was a frequent guest at his home. To enter the community where Mr. Dorworth lives on, non-residents were required to present a driver's license before entering. Entry records are maintained. Mr. Dorworth believed that Representative Gaetz invited people to his home on the evening of July 15, 2017. Likewise, Gaetz' then-girlfriend provided an affidavit in the civil litigation stating that she and Representative Gaetz attended the party at the residence. The committee received testimony from Victim A and Representative Gaetz that they had sex twice during the party, including at least once in the presence of other party attendees. Victim A recalled receiving $400 in cash from Gaetz that evening, which she understood to be payment for sex. At the time, she just completed her junior year of high school. Victim A said that she did not inform Representative Gaetz that she was under 18 at the time. Of course, in Florida, ignorance of the law is not an excuse, specifically as we read earlier on the thing. Let's see. Nor did he ask her age. What? Don't ask, don't tell. The committee did not receive any evidence indicating that Representative Gaetz was aware that Victim A was a minor when he had sex with her. Again, according to Florida law, that doesn't matter. Victim A acknowledged that she was under the influence of ecstasy during her sexual encounters with Representative Gaetz and recalled seeing Representative Gaetz use cocaine at the party. Victim A told the committee she was certain of her sexual encounters with Representative Gaetz on that night. As discussed further below, Gaetz generally denied engaging with sexual activity with a minor, but refused to answer specific questions on his interactions with Victim A. On August 2nd, 2024, Gaetz sent the committee a copy of a social media post from Mr. Dorworth regarding the lawsuit against Victim A, which he had accused her of being part of a conspiracy to defame him. In that post, Mr. Dorworth discussed his recent settlement with Victim A, in which no funds were exchanged. He asserted that he had succeeded in proving that Victim A had lied about him, and that she didn't just lie about me, she lied about Gaetz as well in a federal criminal, blah, 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 blah. Same day, Mr. Dorworth revised his post to remove the claim that she succeeded in proving Victim A had lied, but maintaining his assertion that she falsely accused Representative Gaetz. Mr. Dorworth testified to the committee that he himself was not present for that party at his own home, despite Victim A's assertion to the contrary. After the committee's interview, after he settled the lawsuit, Mr. Dorworth was deposed and confronted with a cell phone record showing he was in fact at the residence. Mr. Dorworth stated, "I don't have an answer to these questions. I'm not going to opine on the cell phone data when I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I do not believe I was there. There could have been a million reasons for that." Sure, buddy. As the questions about his cell phone pinging from a tower less than a mile from his home continued, Mr. Dorth became irritated, informing the attorney, "I am telling you that I was not at the party, so if you believe those phone records somehow impute that I was, or that I make it just undeniable, then that is certainly your belief." The committee requested through counsel that Mr. Dorth clarify his testimony regarding his whereabouts. His counsel did not respond. Representative Gaetz' response to allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Gaetz categorically stated to the committee that the allegations that he may have engaged in sexual misconduct, including violations of federal laws with sex trafficking and state laws regarding prostitution, were false, that these allegations were investigated by the Department of Justice, and they had them dropped. But just because they're dropped doesn't mean they're not true. Of course, the federal government is required to treat you as innocent until proven guilty. Still, that doesn't mean that we have to believe you. See, Representative Gaetz did not provide any explanation for his assertion that the allegations of state law violations were false, even though those violations were not within the jurisdiction of DOJ. He also denied the allegations that he used illicit drugs. The committee provided Gaetz with the names of 15 women who were alleged to have received payments from him or on his behalf relating to the sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Representative Gaetz responded publicly to the allegations, but that his payments to women were for sex by stating that someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. He also repeatedly denied ever having paid for sex. Sure, buddy. Representative Gaetz did broadly address the allegation. He asserted on September 26, 2024, in a letter to committee, your correspondence of September 4th asks whether I have engaged in sexual activity with any individual under 18. The answer to this question is unequivocally no. You can apply this response to every version of the question in every forum, yada, yada, yada. So, of course, he's going to say no. He's not going to say yes. Allegations regarding to the House gift rule, I really don't give a crap about that. Allegations related to misuse of official resources, well, obviously, if he's sending money and using campaign funds, whatever, blah, 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 that's not the salacious part of the story, right? Obstruction of the committee's investigation. May 23rd, the committee found Representative Gaetz that it had reauthorized investigation into several allegations, blah, 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 blah. The request for information also asked for other information you believe may be relevant to the matter. In response, Representative Gaetz began sending letters to chairman and ranking member asserting, among other things, that the committee's request for a 2-week response time and signed a declaration under oath, both of which are standard practice for the committee, were unreasonable, and that he was being treated differently than other members of Congress, while other members of Congress haven't been accused of, interstate sex trafficking of minors and having drug use with minors and having sexual misconduct and acts of, sexual assault with minors because they were drugged and can't consent, and or because they were minors so they can't consent, or both. Blah, blah, blah. Chairman and ranking members respond again, giving an extension through September 28th to comply with the request for information and reiterating the committee's standard practices. Gaetz again missed the deadline, ultimately producing 3 pages that were not fully responsive, yada, yada, yada. Let's see, does the committee also have interest in every dollar I spent in the Bahamas on food, refreshment, and other travel provisions such as sunscreen? I ask because your request is unclear, unrelated to House rules, and more than a bit nosy. I can represent to the committee that no funds of mine were expended in the Bahamas for illicit drug use or sexual misconduct. Of course, if he doesn't consider it to be sexual misconduct, he's not going to say it, but it could still very well be. On May 20th, again, my birthday, committee requested Representative Gaetz provide availability for an interview to be conducted sometime in the first 2 weeks of June, yada, yada, yada. Of course, he said no, he says no, he says no, he says no. So for someone who's surely being accused of sexual misconduct a lot, he sure does know how to say no. Findings. The committee found that Representative Gaetz violated state laws related to sexual misconduct. The committee did not find Representative Gaetz violated federal sex trafficking laws. The committee did not obtain substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated federal sex trafficking laws. The transportation of an individual for purposes of commercial sex could violate such laws if the individual was a minor or if the sexual activity occurred through force, fraud, or coercion. Representative Gaetz was alleged in the news reports to have paid a minor to engage in sexual activity and travel with him on a trip to the Bahamas. However, the youngest person who traveled with him and as associates was 18 years old at the time of the trip. Further, she and the other women who attended the Bahamas trip did not recall being paid for sexual activity on that occasion. One woman testified that she was not paid for sex on the trip, although she did have sex with Representative Gaetz because the trip itself was more so of the payment. As discussed above, there is evidence that the Representative Gaetz paid women to travel to New York and Washington, D.C. for commercial sex, yada, yada, yada. Committee found that Representative Gaetz engaged in commercial sex. I mean, I think we all know that. A committee found that Representative Gaetz violated Florida's statutory rape law. There is substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with a 17-year-old girl. The committee received credible testimony from victim A herself, as well as multiple individuals corroborating the allegation. Several of those witnesses also have testified under oath before a federal grand jury and in civil litigation. Representative Gaetz denied the allegation, but refused to testify under oath. He has publicly stated that victim A doesn't exist and that he has not had sex with a 17-year-old since I was 17, or he was 17. The committee found that to be untrue and determined that there was substantial evidence that Gaetz had sex with victim A in July 2017 when she was 17 years old and he was 35. Representative Gaetz' actions were in violation of Florida statutory rape law. Representative Gaetz has suggested that the allegations against him have been manufactured, that Mr. Greenberg and victim A are not credible. The committee has acknowledged that Mr. Greenberg's credibility is in doubt. The committee received additional evidence from Mr. Greenberg that is not included in the report. Most of it is salacious and unverifiable, although consistent with the nature of the conduct that the committee learned from other witnesses. The committee found no reason to doubt the credibility of victim A. Representative Gaetz has suggested the fact that she has, through her attorneys, expressed an intention to seek civil redress against him for raping her means that she has a financial motive to undermine, and that undermines the veracity of her claim, which is, of course, bullshit. If you have a civil claim against somebody, you do want to have that person be found to be responsible for that thing. That doesn't necessarily mean you're lying. That's such a bullshit answer. Representative Gaetz' statutory rape of victim A was a violation of Florida law, the Code of Official Conduct, the Code of Ethics for Government Service. The committee received evidence that Representative Gaetz did not learn that victim A was 17 years old until more than a month after their first encounter. However, statutory rape is a strict liability crime. After he learned that victim A was a minor, he maintained contact with less than 6 months after she turned 18. He met up with her again for commercial sex. When Mr. Greenberg was prosecuted for sex trafficking, the same individual, Representative Gaetz, denied existed. His conduct reflects discreditably on the House. A committee found Representative Gaetz used illegal drugs. A lot of people testified to it, we know. Committee found that Representative Gaetz violated the House gift rule. Sure. Most of them probably do. Committee found that Representative Gaetz dispensed special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship. He used his power to assist women who he has engaged in a sexual relationship in obtaining an expedited passport. The woman was not his constituent, and the case was not handled in the same manner as similar passport assistance cases. Accordingly, the committee found Representative Gaetz violated House regulations and laws requiring the use of official resources for representational purposes in paragraph 5 of the Code of Ethics for Government Service, which prohibits dispensing of special favors and privileges. Committee found Representative Gaetz sought to obstruct its investigation of its conduct. Well, clearly, because that's what he'd do. Scroll. Conclusion. Based on the above, the committee determined there is substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use, impermissible gifts, special favors or privileges, and obstruction of Congress. The committee made no special oversight findings of this report. No budget statement is submitted. No funding is authorized by any measure of this report. Views of Chairman Michael Gaetz on behalf of the dissenting members. While we do not challenge the committee's finding, we take great exception to the majority deviated from the committee's well-established standard and voted to release a report on the individual no longer in the committee's jurisdiction, an action the committee has not taken since 2006. Oh no, we haven't done it in 18 years. That means what? Appeal to tradition is a logical fallacy. Thank you very much. Thanks for playing. House rules give committee jurisdiction over current members, which they had when they did the report, and we should have the right to said report. Simple as that. You're wrong, we're right. Thank you, the committee, for the rest of the committee for voting in a way that, makes us be able to read all about how Matt Gaetz is clearly somebody who is sus at best and terrible at worst with, involving himself with minors, given minors, and the inability of them to consent. So there you go. Matt Gaetz. Piece of crap numero uno. Let's scroll up. Trucker John's in the chat. Good, Trucker John's, good to see you. Adolf Twitler's in the house. Let's see, we gotta scroll. I know I did ask the question about how many ghosts were in that movie. Steve is exactly right. Before the 3 ghosts the Ghost of Christmas, past, present, and future. If the first ghost visits to tell of the coming night. So he is visited by 4 ghosts, and so many people think it's 3. Wait, Jeff Curry, you have a great idea for Uranus. I'm now seeing this. I am now waiting with anticipation for your ideas about Uranus. Let's see. Jan sits corrected. Hope she feels better, P-dubs, as well. Good thoughts to you and your family. Yeah, Gaetz' defense is deny. Of course it is, because when you don't have the truth on your side, you have to deny and obfuscate and put blame on other people and all that other fun stuff. Let's keep on scrolling. Let's see, something to notice how the QAnon folks always defend it. Well, of course they do. They're going to defend anybody who Donald Trump supports. Period is that. The moment Donald Trump stops feeling that Matt Gaetz is useful to him is when the people on the right will stop caring about him. Will actually start saying, well, maybe he should be arrested. He put Donald Trump in jeopardy by doing all those things and claiming to be Trump's ally. It's all Matt Gaetz' fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault at all. Oh, Chucker John is premiering a video tonight right after Liberal Dan. Like, do you have a specific time that you're premiering it, or are you saying that you're going to go live once I go live? Because we can all head over there when I'm done. Let's see. Egg off with the best people. Nobody has better people. Nobody has better people. My take from this report is that Gaetz is a sleazeball that everybody, you thought he was, but everybody thought he was. Yeah. Pizza Gaetz delivers. Yes. Again, because they all were all crazy about the whole Pizzagate controversy, but you have your own Pizza Gaetz right there down in Florida. See, I haven't watched a Christmas Carol in a long time. I have to make sure I do this year. Hold on. I scrolled too far. So he has been trained by his father on what to say and what not to say. He has a long history of criminal behavior without consequences. It's those with money that don't face justice. Exactly. Hey, PB, good to see you. We didn't need a report to know Matt Gaetz is discussing. Well, of course we didn't, but I'm just actually kind of shook that it was released. And made it really easy to prep for the show today, too. But yeah, I am disappointed in the Department of Justice who, if all this evidence existed, why didn't they go after him? Clearly existed, go after him. Matt Gaetz, super slap nuts. Let's see, I've been known to watch a few Hallmark Christmas movies. I never see those on in my house. My wife loves them. Matt Gaetz broke money. I always thought I had money. I have carpets, but now I don't even want a mat. Nobody should want a mat, right? MAGA is absolutely pro-trafficking, but they make such a big deal out of it because they claim the other people doing it, because they want to get you all looking over there, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Set it for 8 p.m. Pacific time, which would be in a half hour. All right, we got a half hour. Well, maybe we'll end at like 9:55, do the outro, and then we'll all head over to Tucker John's. Uranus needs a weed store. They would sell a lot more fudge. Probably correct. Some of the best weed is found in Uranus. What would be funny is if Uranus sold that coffee that's made from the coffee beans that are pooed out by either marsupial or felines or monkeys or whatever they are. That would be funny if Uranus sold that specific coffee in their town or in their stores. Let's see, didn't the 17-year-old say she didn't tell Gaetz her age? Could be why they didn't press charges. Well, I mean, that specific charge would be a Florida charge, so you have to ask Floridians and the Florida Attorney General and Department of Justice why they didn't go after him, because according to Florida law, it doesn't matter if he didn't know. He has the responsibility he has the responsibility to find out whether or not the people that he's having sexual relations with are doing so consensually. The requirement on consent is not on the person who you're trying to seek consent from. Like, it's not her responsibility to tell people she's 17. It's not her responsibility to prove whether or not she's legal or not. It's his responsibility to determine whether or not the people he has sex with are consented to. Now, I mean, yes, it's her responsibility to make sure that the people she has sex with are consenting with him, but I don't think anybody's denying that he was consenting to any of the sexual activity that took place. That being said, yeah, you should always, it's always a mistake to say whether or not, it's why I have a big problem with the idea of, no means no, because not that I think that no should mean no. No absolutely should mean no, but you should have the standard of yes means yes. You should have it's not that you didn't hear a no, so therefore you're allowed. It's until you hear a yes, you're not allowed. And that should be the standard. And the yes should be clear. The yes should be absolutely given. The yes should not be questionable. The yes should not be given under duress or any other form where you are not able to actually consent, be it because of age, be it because of drugs, be it because of alcohol, be it because of a big difference, disproportionate power that makes you fear whether or not, if you say no, that what might happen to you, that sort of things. That's why we go with yes means yes and not no means no. Let's see. Let's scroll back up. I will talk about what Christmas movie I will be watching Christmas Eve. We'll get to that in a second. Can't watch Saturday movies more. I cry at the ASPCA ones. Sometimes, I mean, I cry at weird movies too. I've cried at lots of different stuff. So, PB Steven Sayers, Happy Holidays. I have to say, Happy Holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Sorry. Speaking of respiratory infections, my youngest son tested positive for the flu yesterday, so we've basically told him to stay in his room and not come out, and we'll bring him whatever he needs. Because, yeah, lovely, he got the flu. See, PWC, I hope your holidays restful and fun. Hugs to your mom. Yes, big hugs, big love to anybody who's dealing with stuff, familiar issues, be it people you're wanting to take care of like P-dubs, or people like you're tired of taking care of, like Roxanne. I understand that too. Believe me, I do. Let's see. I want to hear what this says, just because I do have a voicemail. And it's from Mike, so you won't hear this at the moment because, let's see. So this call didn't ring because of your availability settings. I don't understand how that is the case, because I saw him calling it. I heard him say it was Mike. But, it is what it is. I'm sorry, that's Trump's line. Thank you, Donald. Of course, I have other stuff that I've prepared, including the one from the last show with the Cash Money admitting, the conservative dude admitting that they don't care about being the smartest in the room. Nope, you don't, and you're not gonna be, not ever, never. And of course, I also have his other one that is hysterical. We don't care about evidence. Of course you don't. That's why you don't give a crap about what Donald Trump does. Why you don't give a crap about what Matt Gaetz does. You don't give a crap about all the criminality that takes place with Trump and within his sphere of influence. Yet, you'll believe all the silly bullshit that comes with all the other conspiracy theories that, you will buy hook, line, and sinker because you are a dumbass. See, me and my family not necessarily doing anything super duper special for the holidays. I mean, we did buy some nice steaks to have for dinner on Christmas Day. Normally, as my Jewish tradition is to have Chinese food on Christmas Day, but instead I'll probably be ordering a delivery or whatever on Christmas night or Christmas Eve tomorrow night while I watch my favorite Christmas movie in the world, Die Hard. And I was so upset and frustrated one year that I was like, why is Die Hard never available? Why are people not playing Die Hard on Christmas? It's a Christmas movie. So I went ahead, I just bought it digitally on Amazon. So as long as I have Amazon Prime, I could always watch Die Hard. I think I could probably still watch it without Amazon Prime because I think I still bought it. So even if I just had the regular Amazon account, I should still be able to watch Die Hard. It'd be an interesting question to see, but I'm not planning on dropping Amazon Prime anytime soon. Speaking of which, I probably should do that too. Since, I think it's been a minute since I've actually used my own Amazon Prime to subscribe to myself. So let me go ahead and do that real quick before I forget, because it'll take place live, and we can do it that way. Hopefully I'm logged in under the right account. Yes, I am. Haha. Let's see, there we go. We are here. Oh, we have an ad. We get an ad because we're not subscriptions yet. Let's see. It's a lot like X, but if you weren't on X or Twitter, I can understand. Yeah, I mean, it's like Twitter, but with sane people on it. I haven't had too much time to get in there and start like following back everybody else. Try and build up my presence on Blue Sky. So maybe one day I'll have a decent presence on some social media site, because it's not the greatest. Like what I will have like 2,000 or 3,000 on Twitter. I think it's probably because I'm shadow banned, but like you don't have a high Twitter count. Well, I mean, I have a job. I have a full-time job. I do many other things. I don't necessarily have the time to devote to getting my Twitter counts up, but I've been avoiding PayPal this season. It's not Jewish Christmas. Hanukkah. I mean, all Jewish Christmas is having. Are you saying Hanukkah's Jewish Christmas, or are you saying that Jewish Christmas involves having Chinese food? Because the latter one, is the correct one, not the first one. Subscribe, use Prime sub, free with Prime, huzzah! 7-month subiversary. Yay! There we go. Oh, I didn't even have the sound on. So it might have come up there and didn't give me the sound. Oh well. Oy vey in a manger. Oy with the bells, here with the bells, so many bells ringing at me. That's my version. Do you decorate your house this time of the year? Normally, yes. Normally we have inflatables and some lights that we put out every year. It's December 23rd right now, and we have not done so for various reasons. Probably because we're just stressed and everything, dealing with everything, and whatever. We don't have the spoons, they say, so to speak, to get it done. But we have in the past. I actually did buy a new one to put up, and we just never did, unfortunately. Whatever. But yeah, my wife enjoys the lights part of Christmas, and she may be a lapsed Catholic with various other things, but she does enjoy the Christmas holiday things, like, putting out lights, putting up a tree. I still have to we have a fake tree, but it's way buried in my garage. I need to go get that out and put that out tonight because, need to be able to put gifts under the tree, right? So, is that normal for Jewish households? No, not really. But I'm not really a Jewish household, so to speak, because, again, my wife is a lapsed Catholic, and I'm, not practicing Jewish person, and so our kids are cashews, but still, we're not religious in and of itself. There are some Jewish households that are more integrated, I guess, that will put up like Hanukkah lights, that will put up stuff. And there are some people that will put up Christmas lights because they think the Christmas lights are pretty and don't give a crap about, the whole meaning of the day. They just want to celebrate like everybody else in the neighborhood. So it's that. So yeah, it's not necessarily a huge, and usually most Jewish families kind of poo-poo at the whole idea of decorating for Christmas. Like, I, for a while, was like, I don't know if I want a tree. But when I was with my last person I was dating and we lived together, I decided that it was her house too, so therefore she should be able to have a tree if she wants to have a tree. So, and then so on and so on and so forth. So I participate with, I help out with, And usually because I'm tall or tallish, I will be the one who typically has to, like, put up the lights and do all the other stuff. So I get to do all the work that all the goyim do without necessarily the belief in the holiday. See, bank I used to work at, it's a tradition for one wise man to get stolen and it's found somewhere weird. That's weird. That's kind of sounds like the Passover tradition of hiding the afikomen, but it's a whole different thing, I guess. Let's see. It's a personal. What's a personal choice? I guess whether or not you have ornaments. Is that what you're saying? Let's see. Did you see the honey scam by PayPal? No. Let me look that up real quick. What is the PayPal honey has been caught poaching affiliate revenue. Often hides its best deals from users, promoted by influencers as popular browser attention has been a scam all along. The red flag was how much PayPal paid for the company. Honey obviously makes a lot of money, and we now know how. Interesting. Let's go into more details. So if you follow the police back, they are not happy and will not let you use their car park as a toilet. True fact. Hilarious. Let's see. What is the honey brought? Let's see. Controversy. Blah blah blah. So YouTuber Lag recently claimed that the Honey browser extension is reportedly involved in scamming its users. In a video uploaded December 22nd titled "Exposing the Honey Influencer Scam," Megalag alleged that instead of helping users find the best coupon codes online, as per its primary sales pitch, the PayPal-owned app seemingly shows only specific codes. Megalag stated that, for instance, if an online store promoted by a content creator offers up to 30% discount on a specific product via discount code and a 5% discount via different code, Honey will reportedly show the latter. He further claimed that the browser extension allegedly works against the influencers who promoted it. Honey seemingly replaces the affiliate cookies that pop up on the checkout page with its own. As a result, the content creators allegedly lose out on affiliate income for promoting the product and their discount codes in the first place. Wow. In the wake of this now viral video, Honey and its parent company PayPal are facing backlash. Here are some of the netizens' reactions from the social networking site. It's rare that a scam exposure video genuinely shocks me, but this is effing wild. Uninstalling Honey right away. It has never been any of my discounts anyway. Wrapping my mind around how insane this Honey scam is, I vividly remember how 2014 YouTubers would promote it like crazy, to seeing a lot of them getting married, having kids today. Bruh, it's been robbing people for years, a decade. Let's see. More about the Honey browser extension scam, alleged scam. Honey browser extension is a free-to-use money-saving tool owned by PayPal. It is marketed to automatically find the best coupon discount codes and has millions of users worldwide. Popular content creators including Linus Tech Tips, MKBHD, Marquise Brownlee, and Mr. Who's the Boss and Mr. Beast have promoted it. Honey browser extension was founded in 2012 and later went viral after it was leaked on Reddit. By 2014, it had nearly a million users. In 2020, PayPal purchased the company for $4 billion and renamed the app as PayPal Honey. According to the ongoing controversy first revealed by Megalag, he states that Honey is a sophisticated affiliate marketing scheme designed as a helpful browser extension that steals affiliate commissions from influencers. Originally, the idea behind Honey browser's extension was if a discount code leaked, it would continue to ensure that the users get the best and latest deal. However, ever since it was bought by PayPal, Honey allegedly began partnering with businesses that seemingly offered browser extension discounts. For instance, Honey 20 for 20% off. However, as a YouTuber, Megalag explains the Honey browser extension would allegedly only promote the 20% discount and not the other coupon codes with greater savings. As a result, the customers are reportedly misled. Not only that, but Megalag claimed that Honey allegedly collects user data and for potential and targeted advertising, despite not being a direct seller. Additionally, the YouTuber claimed that Honey Gold Rewards program also offered minimum returns. So there you go. That's the Honey scam. Gold bless us, everyone, right? All right, bye, Marie. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. I wish my favorite jammy pants would get dry. I have a couple of pair of ducky jammy pants. So there you go. I do have what was it? One of the new medications I take are topical or whatever, and then you put it on your arms and you have to wash it off every day. So I've been having usually I'd like to shower in the mornings when I shower, but now I've been showering at night, and I don't like showering at night because I don't like going to bed with wet hair. But if I need to do it that way to deal with my new medicine, then I have to do it that way to deal with my new medicine, right? So it is what it is. Of course, today I had super bad heartburn from my medicine, so it goes up and down, unfortunately. See, Honey Nut cornflakes are still okay, right? I think so. I don't think they were bought by PayPal. So, see, Janelle, I get a lot of friend requests on Blue Sky. I have no idea who most people are, pretty much. But basically, I'm just follow everybody who follows me. I follow back, yada yada yada, just to kind of help with the algorithms over there, and B, to just try and get more and more and more and more people, being able to know about the show. Of course, I have to use Blue Sky more to promote the show, but I mean, I do, again, it happens. What Donald says.
It is what it is.
See, that's the thing.
It is what it is.
I'm going to have to find another soundboard. This one sucks too. It's terrible. Anyway, Liberal Dan Radio on Blue Sky, all one word. Liberal Dan Radio also on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, etc. All the places I'm Liberal Dan Radio. Except for regular liberaldan.com and Venmo, it's Liberal Dan, not Liberal Dan Radio. Otherwise, buymeacoffee.com/Liberal Dan Radio, or you can just go to liberaldan.com and click the Buy Me a Cider button. Help me out that way. You can do all the other fun stuff as well. Subscribe to the show, everything. It's free to get a subscription on Twitch. Membership here on YouTube is as little as $2 a month. You can help on Patreon, patreon.com/liberaldan, or patreon.liberaldan.com, and all the other ways. Like videos, comment on videos, share them. Again, if you see anybody talking as we come to the new year and the new administration talking about vaccines and autism, share that video that I made about vaccines and autism, because apparently some people thought it was really good. So other people might like it too. And again, the more you share show clips and videos, the more you like and comment on the videos, the more you help the algorithm. And as we all know, Al Gore needs more rhythm. So what I will do now is on Twitch, and both Twitch and YouTube, we will hear another reiteration of the Night Before Christmas parody, and then Twitch will go away there. Obviously, the Nimbus outro, which is not liked by Twitch but is liked by YouTube, will hang out here on YouTube for a few minutes. But we definitely want to be offline before Trucker John, so we can see his premiere of his new video on Trucker John's channel. So let's all head over to Trucker John's channel once that is the case, once this show is over with. So again, if for some reason you're not going to be around, on Wednesday for family reasons or whatever, I totally understand it. It's perfectly fine. I should be around if you want to stop in and escape the family for a little bit of Liberal Dan. Otherwise, everybody has a happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. Celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. If you celebrate Festivus, have Festivus for the rest of us. So until, and of course, nerdydan.com will be live on Twitch tomorrow as well, at least for a little bit. So until next time I see you, this is Dan Zimmerman with Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right.
Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration.
Hold on, let me rewind it and start from the beginning.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name, on Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.